I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. All right. So we are balance bound meeting. Make sure you have a notebook and pen because this is going to be an action item call. And we talked a lot about our goals, being an elite mindset last week. Elite mindset just meaning that we set SMART goals, we work towards reverse engineering them, we write them down, we share them with other people to help hold ourselves accountable, and we achieve them. That's who we are as balance bound coaches. That's who we are as balance bound challengers. That's who we are as an elite team. And if you haven't listened to that call yet and or shared your goals and some of the action items that were on that call, I really encourage you guys to do that on our Balance Bound Coach page so that we can hold you accountable to that. We talked about your top 3 attributes, your best qualities and strengths. We talked about maybe your top 3 goals, whether it's health, fitness, personal, or professional for 2017. And or 30, 60, 90-day goals for the summer. And what are your top 3 excuses that you've held on to for maybe a lifetime now, maybe a few months, maybe a few years, maybe a lifetime, that we want to be aware of so that we can let go of those excuses, that fear that holds us back from failing and all that good stuff, right? So we asked each other, we asked ourselves, why have we not achieved our goals that we've set for ourselves up till now? And what are we going to do differently? We know that in order to make goals happen that haven't happened before, something has to change, right? So the action in our life has to change in some way. So we need to bring new action in, and maybe there's some old habits that have to go. We have to get rid of some of the habits that we're doing that maybe aren't serving us anymore so that we can make room for new habits and healthier habits to come in so that we can actually achieve our goals this time, throwing the excuses away. And I think it's a great segue to tonight's call and topic, which is you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So knowing now what your goals you have, who are you really spending your time with? And that could be, maybe it's an excuse, but that could kind of lead to some of the answers of why you haven't achieved the goals that you've had personally. I know, my personal experience shows me that. My history shows me that. I'm always pretty honest here on our team calls, which is, just the environment that I want to be able to create for our team is more than just health and fitness, but like opening up on an emotional, a deeper level where I think we might have more things in common if we just can get real there. And a lot of my experience personally in relationships is with alcoholism and alcoholics. And, one of the reasons why I created sort of my mission statement around a balance bound was from that experience of, my desire for balance bound is, yes, to find balance in all areas of my life, not just health and fitness, but personally, relationship wise, professionally, work versus play, balance in being kind to myself, having patience for myself, not living in guilt and shame. And all of those things for me stemmed from also my experience in being in a long-term relationship with an alcoholic. And when I first started my personal development, this is one of the things that stood out to me as far as the top 5 people I'm spending the most time with, because I have always been an entrepreneurial, had that entrepreneurial spirit as far back as I can remember. And I've always been the go-getter, and I've always had these dreams, these goals, and this life that I wanted to live in these dreams. And what I've learned now after 2.5 years of coaching is that kind of what we talked about in last week's call is that dreams are just dreams. They're not, or how am I saying it? Goals. Oh my gosh, now I'm drawing a blank. What is it called? That goals are just dreams unless you write them down, unless you do the action to get to them, right? I know I'm messing up that saying, but for me, creating that vision board and actually having goals and reverse engineering and seeing how I could get them, they became like a possibility in my life, as opposed to just dreaming up these things that I used to share these dreams with somebody in my life that wasn't taking action to actually make those things happen. So we were just living in these lofty dreams that were never really going to happen because we didn't have the opportunity, the ability, the accountability to reach goals and set goals to actually get to those dreams. And that's what I've learned from this business, is setting these goals. And more importantly, just like we have in our health and fitness challenges, and that's why they work so well for me, is that I need the accountability. I need the community. I need to connect with like-minded people. I need to connect with people that are going to lift me up, that are going to push me to be the best person I want to be, because I do want to be the best person I can be. But when I spend time with people that don't want that or live in fear of who they might be, I realize that I'm, for lack of a better saying, I'm dumbing myself down to be with that person. And I did that for a long time in a relationship because I was afraid if I actually went for my dreams and actually went for my goals and I worked to achieve them, that I would leave that person behind. And I loved that person so much that that terrified me. So I wouldn't. I would be like, oh, okay, I won't work on that today. I'd rather spend time with you, and I'll live in this bubble of like, I'll be here when you're ready to grow and we'll grow together, instead of me going on my own path. And so, you know, my mission in Balance Bound is to empower women to live their life to their fullest potential, independent of anybody else's dreams and anybody else's goals. So like, I know, you know, whether, you know, for me, it was a personal relationship. It was, you know, it wasn't a marriage, but for a lot of women it is. It's being in a marriage with somebody that maybe, doesn't lift them up, doesn't treat them with the respect that they deserve to be treated, or maybe they're being the wife or the mother instead of being the woman that they have always wanted to be themselves, because we always put everybody else first, you know? So that's my goal, is to continue to live my life independently. Of course, in a relationship with somebody that I love, but I will never again stop myself from becoming the person I want to be because of fear of losing somebody in my life or somebody that I love, or leaving them behind. It's up to that person to lift themselves up to be with me at this point in my life. And so I think it's important, you know, that we look at the 5 people that we're spending the most time with, and we get real about, are those people lights in our life? Are they lifting us up? And if they're not, it's going to be something that's going to be hard pressed to kind of look at and say, how, you know, how do I align myself with people that will lift me up? And for me, Beachbody and coaching and our challenge groups has been the light for me. You know, whether it's connecting with the people in the groups that are showing up, that are checking in every night, that are getting their workout done. Those are the people that inspire me. Those are the people that keep me coming back, right? I always say, and it's funny, I'm glad, Holly, you're on this call, because I always talk so highly of you to other challengers, especially incoming challengers, because I am in awe of your ability to be a rock star challenger. Like, I feel like I could never do what you've done. You've had such success being an incredible challenger. You've really, I mean, you've pushed yourself and reached your goals. You've already reached them. It's like time for you to set new goals. And you've stuck it out for so long. And I commend you for that. I think it's incredible. And I always, like I said, I'm always lifting you up to others that are coming in, because I think that you're somebody that they can look up to as far as having success. I don't know that I ever could have had the success you had. I think for me, I'm one of those people that, what has helped me show up for 2.5 years consistently now, almost 3, is because I'm a coach and because I'm leading others, because I'm the first one to like quit on myself. But when I have somebody else that I'm leading, I'm going to show up, and I've showed up on days that I didn't want to. And that's because I was coaching others. And that's why this system has worked for me. Yes, the Beachbody Shakeology totally changed my nutrition. I was never a shake girl. It's ridiculous, right? Like, I mean, I know you had a similar experience. Like, we now drink our shake every day and we feel it when we don't. Like, it works. You know, I know, I've got mine too. Yeah, we're all drinking it now. I love it. It works, right? It works, whether it's fast-paced life, it gives us energy, it gives us nutrients that we don't necessarily get on a daily basis. It connects us with other people. It's a connector. Whatever it is, it works. And the workouts are the best of the best still yet. When I go to live classes, I'm now disappointed because of Beachbody On Demand, because of what that brings me. I love that I could do a workout program, yoga. For the first time, I just sort of searched yoga on demand, And there's this list of, I haven't even delved into all of what Beachbody On Demand has to offer. And I found a restorative yoga from Ted that was I wanted something under 30 minutes. It was 28 minutes restorative yoga. And it was like, Ted, were you backpacking with me this weekend? Because you literally just gave me every stretch my body needed. It couldn't have been more perfect. And I didn't have to work my schedule around a class to go get that perfect yoga class for me. And then there's a launch to a brand new workout today. And I don't have to work around getting to that 5 o'clock class after work to get to that one trial of this new brand new workout and pay $20 to get it and be stuffed in a class of 50 people. I have 24 hours to make it happen in my day. And I could do it outside.
Kris, is it still on for you today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 24 hours. What's that?
Is it hard?
I
rode my bike for 35 miles this morning. I don't know if I should do it right now or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as hard as like Insanity or T25 because you get like 30 to 60 minute breaks between every 60-second exercise. I mean, you might want to just check it out just to kind of see what style of workout it is. Like, I think it's good too for us coaches just to like see the new trainer, see his vibe. You know, there's always just that knowledge is good. Yeah. So for me, it's more of like, I did it as a business thing, right? I probably might not have done the workout today. I would have done Shaun T to finish Shaun T week, but that's the cool thing. It's so flexible, right? And I know I'm totally digressing. I don't even know how I got into this topic. But it's worked for me. And what I'm saying is because I've taken that step to coach and serve other people, that's why this has worked for me. That's why I have found the healthiest I've been ever. I mean, obviously I'm getting older every year. You know, I'm 37 and this is the healthiest I've ever been in my life, even as a professional dancer in New York, you know. But for me, it's because I have to show up for more people than just myself. And so for me, that's progressively the next step. That's just me. Because I love this lifestyle and I want to share it with other people. And so I surrounded myself with coaches. And because I've always had a passion for fitness and serving others, it was, of course, the natural progression for me in my business and wanting to own my own business, have the flexibility, freedom of time financially. Like, I'm in my dream job, full-time job is my dream job. And I'm ready to move on from my dream job, literally, because of how Beachbody makes me feel, because how connecting with others and getting out and working out and on my own time makes me feel like it's like I'm getting to live a life of freedom that I didn't know truly existed, but I was dreaming about 10 years ago. And I finally found an opportunity that gets me there. So I'm hanging out and spending time with the people that are successful doing this. And those are the people that have elevated me. You know, it's the personal development books that I'm reading. I've got to read from the people that know more than me, have more experience than me, are living a fuller life than me. So my circle of influence has completely changed. And I think it's because I've been in this for 2.5 to 3 years. My personal relationships have changed. My friendships have completely changed. You know, those of you that know me, I have personally chosen to take alcohol and drugs out of my life. And I have been clean and sober for 8 months. Like, my life has completely changed. I know, it's like, it's amazing, right? Like, you guys, you know, life changes. And so do the people around you.
Yeah.
Right? So just be looking at those people and just saying, are those the people that are going to help you reach your dream goals, your goals and your personal, professional, and health and fitness goals that you have? Are those people lifting you up, or are they maybe getting in the way? And for me, some of them socially were. So, you know, and one of the questions that we ended on in the last call was, what do you want your legacy to be? What is it that you want to leave behind? You know, I know for us as teachers, of course, it's being that positive mentor for young children. And, you know, we hope in 10 years they'll come back to us and say, wow, you really had an impact on my life. You know, I hope that I'm being a positive light in their lives. That's what I love about my job, is that the idea that maybe I'm a positive light in their life and bringing them joy and happiness in an area that I'm passionate about. You know, and I guess thinking about, you know, when you do pass on, what do you want people to say about you? what do you want your life to be? What do you want people to think about you and say about you? And are you leaving a legacy behind you of people that are now living their life to their fullest potential because of your influence, because of the way that you lived your life? So for me, that's something that I want, it's something that I hope I can do, and I want to continue to grow so that I can. And so I'm going to kind of take this now into the side of coaching where, we want to be able to connect with like-minded people. We want to find those people that want what we have. We want to find those people that want a fuller life, that want a healthy life, that are ready today and or are not yet ready, but they, building your tribe. We call it building your avatar. And I think the more that we know who we are, the more we better understand ourselves, at least from my experience, the more I'm going to end up connecting with the right people. So, when I started this business, I knew it was something I wanted, but I was, like they always say, like, if you try to reach with everybody, you're not going to connect with anybody. But if you try to connect with this one type of person, this person who maybe you are, this experience that you've been through, you're going to have more of an impact on that person than trying to connect the random ABCD person. And, I still talk about it a lot. Like, I want to connect with teachers because that's a passion of mine. I want to connect with dancers and young performers because that's a passion of mine. Now I want to connect with people that struggle with drugs and alcohol, or people that have struggled with the disease of alcoholism from the other side of things. And, because that's my experience and I can connect with people in a real human way. But it's hard when you've got all of those things out there too. So I think the more that we figure out who we are, like I said, we're going to put that out there and we're going to connect the right people. And that's what's going to help us to build our business, our circle of influence, and again, make our circle of 5 bigger, and hopefully be able to spread that light to them as well. So I want to make this sort of, like I said, an action call. So we had an avatar call previously where we got a list of questions and we were all writing down the list of questions super fast that I don't think we had a chance to answer them. So I want to spend the last half of this call taking that time to kind of answer some of these questions. So again, this is going to be both thinking about yourself and then thinking about the person that maybe you want to help, the person that you want to connect with. So thinking about, maybe write down 3, we'll try to keep it to 2 to 3 items for each question. I want you to think about, what are your current struggles today? 2 to 3 struggles in your life today. And writing those down, let's just start with that, writing down 2 to 3 of your struggles. And I sometimes play music, but I'm not going to do that because if I upload it to YouTube, it won't let me because of licensing and stuff. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt. So we'll just do some silence here. So I'll share sort of an example of one of mine, because what I want you guys to do is connect it with what are their struggles, meaning the person that might reach out to you, the people that you're trying to speak to, right? The people that maybe you're trying to help, the people you're trying to spread your circle of influence in health and fitness. So we're going to stick to coaching now. So, if somebody catches this recording and you're not looking to build a business right now, it's probably okay for you to jump off. It's totally cool. But if you're looking to kind of spread your circle of influence, then what would their struggles be? The person that maybe you're wanting to connect with, because most likely it's going to be similar. So if one of my struggles is that I still struggle to stay consistent until I see results, that is something for me that I have noticed as a pattern in my life of why I haven't succeeded. So if we go back to those goals from the last call and we say, why is it you haven't achieved your goal? Well, because a lot of things in my past, I quit before I succeeded for fear of succeeding or fear of failing. So if I could just stop it before it got to that point, then I wouldn't really have to know if I was going to fail or succeed. And like, it's weird, but some people do have that fear of succeeding. Right. So, and one of the things that I was lacking in my life before this was consistency. And it was one of the things that I was talking to one of my 5 top people that were lifting me up in my life back then. I can remember like 3 or 4 years ago was she really pointed out to me, like, you're very inconsistent. And to me, that was my relationship. That was my alcoholic. You want to talk about inconsistent? My alcoholic was inconsistent. I didn't know if they were going to show up, what they were going to show up, what they were going to be. I didn't know. It was like unpredictable. So for her to look at me and say, you were inconsistent, I was like, oh, dang. Okay. Because, right, sometimes what we notice in other people is really a mirror to ourselves. And I held on to that. And she was right. She was totally right. And what I love about this coaching business is that it's made me show up, like I said before, even when I didn't want to. So it has brought this level of consistency into my life that I was lacking before. And that's what's so cool about this for me is that that's why it helps us obviously grow in we're going to find our areas of weakness when we start building a business here and really trying to help other people. And I think that is so true for a lot of our challengers. I'm certain that the people I'm trying to reach are terrified that they're not going to be able to get their results, and that most of them aren't consistent enough to get the results. So if we can figure out how to be consistent, if we can continue to show up, then we're going to be able to give our experience to them to that. And we're going to be able to stay there for them, supporting them until they are able to be consistent, and therefore they will get results. So that's just sort of, one of my struggles that I'm getting better at, but I would imagine that that's probably somebody I'd be attracting too. What is your solution to this? So, what is your solution to your struggle? Right. So as an example, if I was going to go off that same one, I would say showing up every day in an accountability group, in our challenge group, right? That would help with consistency. Having to check in every single night. Well, that's going to hold me to staying consistent for 3 weeks in a row. Having a success partner. That's what we call in the business, having a success partner, having a partner that maybe we check in daily, maybe we check in with a call once a week, and we hold each other accountable to our business goals, our growth goals, and we have to show up for that person. I could not have grown this business without my success partner, without, Taylor and I meet for power hours, without every Saturday morning being consistent with that power hour. I love how Taylor calls me last Friday, and I even forget about Saturday morning power hour, even though we've been doing it for like probably 5 or 6 months now. She's like, oh, I'm sure you're not doing it because you're going camping that weekend. And I'm like, I'm not leaving till 8 a.m. I can totally do my 6 a.m. power hour. It's stuff like that makes me show up, even when history would tell me, oh yeah, that's a good time. That's a good excuse to not do it, right? You got a lot of packing to do. You could probably sleep in. You're going to be back, No, I'm going to show up. If I can, I'm going to be there. I'm going to show up. So that's a solution for ourselves, and again, for that person. Okay. So I want to go on now to think about being a little bit specific. Before we go into more questions, I want to get just like a handful of things down for our avatar, thinking about who are we? Let's think about the very basics of who we are and just writing those things down that define who we are. Because the easiest thing to be is figure out, like I said, listing these basic things of who you are, and let's just put that as the avatar, right? So like female or male, like, literally starting there, because I would spread out and I would say female or male. And I'm struggling with that right now, you guys, because I get these guys that come in every once in a while and I want to be able to help them, but they're struggling because we don't have somebody on Balance Bound yet that is a male figure that is showing up consistently. And frankly, I'm talking to my boyfriend about signing up as a coach because I need a leader on our Balance Bound team to be here for these guys that come in, because these guys come in every, I would say 60 or 90 days. And by the time they come in, the last guy is already out the door because there's no connection there. And I don't feel comfortable throwing them into our challenge group of women because we get deep, we get emotional, and I want it to be even more so. And I don't want to throw a guy into that situation. So anyway, I'm really starting to hone in now for female. I want female to be my target. Marital status. Are they married? Are they single? Are they divorced? Do they have kids? And again, this is defining you and potentially the person you want to reach out to. I think it's a lot easier for me to connect with people that are single than to connect with people that have kids, because I don't have kids. I can't relate to that. Yes, I definitely serve people and have challengers that have families and children for sure. But somebody like my coach, Megan, who's got 3 kids and she's balancing all of that, and she's able to share her experience of, and ask questions on Facebook about children and how do you deal with this? I can't connect with that, right? So if I'm going to look at my ideal avatar, the person that I want to speak to, it's most likely going to be somebody like me. And that's what I have to remember, and not, again, open my net to catch anybody. So it's about tailoring the story that we're sharing with people. What kind of income do they make? I put in parentheses here, teachers, because that's a lot of the people that I want to connect with. I love teachers. Obviously, I've been a teacher my whole life. That's all I've done. But I know that I can't live my dream life on a teacher salary. That's just me. And I feel like that's a story that I can share and I can connect with. And I think teachers have really serving hearts. What are their beliefs? Are they religious? Are they spiritual? So for me, I'm more spiritual. I'm living my life with the 12 steps. And, that I'm finding now is like my go-to tribe. Like those are the people that I'm connecting with the most recently, now that I'm being my authentic self. Think about socially. Are they listening to podcasts? What kind of books are they reading? Are they reading like fiction, nonfiction, sci-fi, self-help? When they turn the TV on, what TV shows are they watching? Are they drama? Are they funny? Movies? Are they Netflix? Are they going to the movies? Are they renting Redbox? What kind of movies are they watching? What do they do in their free time? What are their hobbies? I do find the more that I am living my authentic self and sharing, I'm going for hikes, or now I'm getting on my mountain bike, I'm finding the people that are connecting with that, and I'm reaching out to them, because a lot of, obviously, the way that we build this business and we build it, building through relationships and connecting with like-minded people. And that's why there can be 100,000 plus Beachbody coaches, because like Megan shared today, anybody can order Beachbody fitness programs and Shakeology. Anybody can go to beachbody.com, right? But it's about the connection, the emotional side of things, and relating to somebody. And so they're going to want to connect with the person that you are. So sharing more of who you are is the people that like and comment on your stuff. Those are the people that obviously have things in common and want to build a relationship with you as it is. So when they see what you're doing, or when you reach out to them with a solution, they're going to want to connect with you. And that's the fun part too, because once you like connect with your avatar and the right people, that's been the real joy for me in the last year of the business, without casting that wide net, because I've actually made true friendships, and that's what makes this like less of a job. And more enjoyable for me and building my life. And again, now my circle of influence of 5 is much greater than that, because I'm surrounding myself with more people like this. Okay, so kind of just thinking about, and you can craft as many details of that as you want as far as figuring out who that person is, but I want to get into a few questions too. I want you to think about back to when you got started. And again, this question is going to be for you and then for the person that you want to connect with. How does your avatar feel when they are about to purchase a challenge pack? How did you feel when you first got your first challenge pack? Were you enthusiastic? Were you scared? Was it a big expense? Were you ready to get started? Did you commit right away? And what is the person that you're connecting with or reaching out to, or maybe is having conversations with you right now? What are they feeling? And question number 2, what are the daily obstacles that they're dealing with? You know, is it family? Is family life, their personal relationship really challenging? Is their work life really challenging? Are they working early, late hours? You know, are they a single mom of 3 children trying to do this all on their own? Are they working part-time or full-time? What obstacles are you dealing with? The third question is, and again, I say this as them, but it's also us, is what is their worst case scenario? What do they worry about on a daily basis? Or what is it that they worry about? What is their biggest fear? What is the worst case scenario? You know, like, I don't know, for me, what is the worst case scenario? This doesn't work out and I'm stuck with my full-time dream job, but it's so crazy to say this, but that I thought was my dream job. I mean, that's insane for me to say out loud. But man, I like working for myself. I really like working for myself, especially after just being in a very recent situation, working so closely with my boss. Was a huge challenge. And I'm so grateful that, you know, 9 months, 10 months out of the year, I am my own boss, you know? But the reality is too, that no job is secure anymore. Like, here's a situation where I thought my job was secure. There is a lot of conversation of insecurity in the next year. Like, that's scary. So I, you know, like, my worst case scenario is I don't have a job in a year. So I'm going to work really hard this year to make this happen, because this is my dream situation. And if I can make this happen and I don't have a job, I'm okay. How many people can say that? I've watched so many friends in this last year, probably half a dozen in just this last year, lose their job. And I'm talking even big companies like Verizon. They've been there for 12 years. Teachers, people at nonprofit, all over the spectrum, you know. So what is your avatar? What is your person, your challenger maybe coming to you seeking help? What is their worst case scenario? What do they worry about? And then what does our solution offer? You know, for me, this offers job security. This offers fulfillment. This offers freedom. I've always dreamt of traveling. I can do this job from anywhere I want. You know, I have a 3-year goal of literally traveling the country in an RV doing this job. Working 3 hours a day from my RV office and then getting out on a mountain, seeing the entire country. Like, that's a solution for me. Like, that's living my life. That's, you know, saving up money to get married and have a house. Those are things I cannot do with my current full-time job. My current full-time job leaves me living paycheck to paycheck and never being able to own a home up here. That's my reality. You know, and so I have to think too about the reality of my avatar. And I'm glad I'm having this conversation out loud, because if I actually think about my avatar of the single woman, who wants to be independent, even if they're married, right? Or even if they're in a relationship with somebody, I've never wanted to depend on somebody else for finances. So what does this opportunity have to offer for that person? I don't know any 20-year-old single girl up here that could ever afford a home. But maybe this opportunity offers that, I know a lot of people that are struggling with a full-time job to pay a ridiculous amount of rent. And I don't know where that gets you in 5 or 10 years. And so this opportunity just happens to offer a lot of stuff for me. I was just talking to a woman now who is going to be coming on as a challenger and joining our Fit family, committed as one of our elite challengers for 2017. And just in conversation, she's sharing that, she works all day and her husband works nights. They sometimes see each other on Sunday, and their relationship is falling apart. Because she's unhealthy, she's being the wife, she's being the mom, she's not taking care of herself. She's finally ready to do that. And she's telling me how she's not happy at work and working for somebody else. And like, here's the idea of this person who has to lose 100 pounds that actually might be able to have an opportunity to, hold hands with somebody and walk this journey with somebody else, and might actually be able to build a different future for herself, her and her husband, her and her children. And like I said, mostly herself. So yeah, I guess just thinking about what solution you have to offer from what you've experienced. What solution have you received? Yeah, so we're going to get cut off in about 2 minutes. And I do try to leave these calls to be 45 minutes. So I don't want to stick on too much longer. And there's certainly some other great questions, but let's just do 2 more as we start to think about our avatar and think about ourselves. How do we feel day 1 of a program? And how do we feel halfway through? Do we start off super excited, and then halfway through we feel defeated because we got on that scale and we didn't see the results yet? How many of us had that experience? I always try to encourage people, not to get on the scale. Trust the process, stay consistent, keep showing up, finish a program. And so most likely your person that you're connecting with is going to feel that way. And it's important for us to remember that. How do we celebrate small victories? And how do we celebrate big goals? It's so important as part of this journey to celebrate, not just to get done with something and be like, okay, wow, I hit my goal. All right, next goal. It's like, whoa, let's, but maybe our celebrating is going to be looking a little different this time. I was talking to somebody today and she's like, well, last time I had success, I did 2 hours at the gym every day. And I was like, it sounds awful. It sounds terrible. And no wonder you can't get back started up again, because you're so overwhelmed. And anytime you have 90 minutes, you're thinking, I can't go to the gym because I don't have enough time. You're setting yourself up for failure. I'm like, what if I can give you a 30 to 45 minute program every day? Now you've got an hour of time where you can prep food, you can spend quality time with your family, or you can do something enjoyable for yourself, like get a mani-pedi, go for a walk, hang out with your dog, get together with friends. Doesn't that sound like a better life? She's like, oh yeah. And how about if you only have 15 minutes? I'll give you a 15-minute workout so you have no excuse, So finding ways to celebrate along the way. And then just last question